before I... just bear with me here. Alright. Okay. So, that I streamed. Hard for me to work and think and design and build into a little 60-minute time period. So, that's why I wanted to get some things built beforehand, before actually going ahead and going more with the build. So this is Coastal Cottage. Kept it as natural as possible. I do have the extended builds mod. So, what it does is extend the limit or size of the build. Now I got all the stairs in that I wanted to get in. I still need to add railings. I'm just unsure what type of railings I want, or if there's going to be cement walls that are going to be placed there. This is basically what I have thus far. So I'm going to keep most of these buildings low. The height limit's only in this area here. I think I can have 3 levels plus a roof. But I think I'm going to restrict most of these buildings to 2 levels. It is a somewhat large build and surface area. But as long as I keep things low, then everything should be alright. It's always a good idea to keep track of your build limit as well. I know there's a mod that negates the build limit, but I actually still use the weapon mod workshop glitch, which I don't really consider it a glitch. I consider it built into the game on purpose, and that helps me determine the size, and I don't know, it helps me understand the engine a little bit better and how far I can push it before I get rendering issues or you know, shit starting to fuck up like FPS rate. Hopefully I'm talking loud enough. I have another microphone over there that I use for my storylines, but this is the kind of game that I need to just lie down and relax and think. This is what I have so far. Now, obviously I wanted to keep the cavern or cave, so I created this nice little coverage area. I'm not sure what to make of it quite yet. I was initially thinking like a treasure trove, like putting a bunch of gold pieces down there and just making it look full of gold, but I think I'm gonna go more the settlement, like a meditative kind of, not so much rehabilitation, but more so of a spiritual settlement, where I guess you explore your spirituality. Now the settlement, I don't think I'm going to make affiliated with Voltron or the Minutemen. I think I said in my first video, but just a private settlement, or a settlement separate from them, but are allied with them. Now, I'm gonna stop talking for a bit, have a drink of water, and see what we can do next with this. It's really a giant jigsaw puzzle, and often when I get stuck in one area, I go somewhere else, add a piece here and there, then I'll go somewhere else, add a piece here and there, and then it slowly starts fitting together. So it's like, I don't really work at one area at once. I kind of work at the whole thing. And I'm always seeing how well it flows. And how well it works. Yeah, just flow-wise. Where to put the buildings, what buildings I'm going to be putting in. So let's get our asses into workshop mode, which is going to take at least 10 minutes to load. There is something I wanted to show you beforehand. So I kind of got this entranceway going on. What direction is that? North. So north, obviously, if you look at the map, is in kind of unknown territory. So that's kind of an area that you would want kind of walled up or a little bit more protected, since there's really no settlements near it other than, well, the Slog, which is an extremely massive build. That's really the only settlement that's close to it, in Canesport Lighthouse. So it's kind of isolated by itself. So defense is definitely on my mind. However, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it a monastery or just like a botanical gardens place. I have no fucking clue. Just kind of seeing where it goes. So you can either enter through the doors here, or there's a couple garage doors here if I can get them to close. So there. Now this wouldn't be sealed off, but these two obviously are going to have doors. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be putting railing here or a wall. I don't know. I think it just might be railing. But we'll see. Okay, I'm just kind of contemplating on what I'm doing next. I spend a lot of time just walking around, pretty much doing nothing, just trying to get a feel for everything. I'm going around, and I sometimes do this for like a half an hour or an hour at a time before I start placing things. I know with Fort Sunshine, I really spent a shitload of time just endlessly walking around, wondering what the hell I was going to do with the place. So that particular build took a very, very long time, because I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted it to be, what the different rooms were going to be. I also had to add more buildings to it at the end to accommodate a greenhouse, a building for more rooms. So it's all that stuff added and kind of changed the direction of the build. So I'm going to see now if we can cover this up and do something with it. Let's get to work. That's unfortunate. Now, the only thing that concerns me about this is that I believe I'm going to have to change the ground over here. So that's a long ways to span. Before I go ahead and remove anything, I'm going to save it first, because I might end up fucking myself. Alright, so first things first, let's see if these steel posts will penetrate through these plank floors. I have a better chance of it working through warehouse planks than I do with wooden planks, but I still don't think it's gonna work. Yeah, just as I figured. Okay. So... Now we could try this option here. So I don't know if the foundation's going to be able to fit in that. Oh, look at that. Phantasmic. What about here? Well, kind of fucked myself on that one. Okay, let's put those back. So we're going to have a problem here with placing any supports. But we can start with this and see where it ends up. Support there, support there. Supports here. Actually, let's add. I'll add a few things here. How the fuck do I get up there? See, it's like I like to keep a lot of the natural land incorporated, but you have to build foundations. It's almost impossible to build on flat land. If you were built, you would never build on flat land. You would level it out somehow and then build on it. So that's just basic structural engineering. You would never build a house on uneven land and without a sturdy foundation. So let's go to planks here. So yeah, that fucker. Wonder if we can converse it this way. Just figuring things out here. That fitting? No. That doesn't want to fit in either. Okay. Shit. Just don't like that being uneven like that. Okay, so supports is you cannot install railing and then install supports, with the exception of the railings found in the wood menu, which USO provides here. These are the only ones beforehand. Let's get you in the ground here, I'll give you an example. Put that there. Try to grab on the steel posts. Which it's not letting me, it's kind of frustrating me. What the fuck? Why is it being a bitch? Anyways, we'll grab another one for now. Oh my god, this is slow. Okay. Maybe you can add to those. Alright, that was a waste of time. So yeah, add your balconies later is the moral of the story. Now that's an extremely long span without any support. Still walk through if you want. Alright. I don't know, it's still a pretty big span. Like, unless you have steel beams, thick steel beams underneath that wood to support those planks, there is no fucking way in hell it's gonna stay in place without it having huge joists underneath it. Remember, realism just isn't about the lore, it's also about your structures being realistic as well. And by that I mean structurally sound and engineered properly. Okay, we're being fucked around here. But sometimes get these to go together. And if you were to ever to do this in real life, what you would do is get them close like that. Oh, fuck. It's moderately upsetting now. If this were a real life scenario, it wouldn't be ideal. However, it would still work. The load would just be a little bit fucked up. So what you would do is you would weld this, drill holes, big bolts, probably 6 of them, 5 or 6 of them, drill, bolt them down, and you can either weld them or just make sure that they're either always tight. But this part here would definitely be welded together, plus the bolts going through. So essentially, in a way, it would be one piece, but it would have a slight shearing force on the bolts and on that weld piece, which really shouldn't matter because we're just supporting wood. Alright, so I think we're going to try to get one more over here. And see if this will cooperate. Fantastic. Okay, I'm content with that. Alright, so now we've covered up that area. I don't know if I want to bring it that close to the trees or not. Is that wood or warehouse? I keep forgetting. Well, these are the wrong steps too. Fuck. I much prefer the blue ones. These ones as well. So you have to have the warehouse or the basic concrete, and some USO will allow the concrete steps to go through. Wood will not, warehouse will not. And there's some USO stone platforms that will not allow anything to penetrate through it. Just an FYI. Okay, so I don't think I want to extend that any further. However, kind of want to make this. Perhaps we can make this into the greenhouse. We're only 2 across. So, entranceway would start right about here. Now the thing is, am I gonna do a multi-level and connect this with anything? Well, I just don't know. I don't bloody know. But what I do know is that I need to put some warehouse walls up here. So, since we're building on wood, can't really have concrete on top of it. Unless, of course, the other side of the wooden planks were also filled with concrete and formed with concrete. Yeah. So, let's do a wall over here. I like to have every single one of my settlements as self-sufficient as possible. Meaning making their own crops, at least enough for the settlers that live at the settlement. Okay, we have to make a door there. Just deciding. May as well just leave it glass. Okay, this is gonna kind of fuck us. Shit. I don't think we have a choice but to make that uneven. What do you think? Unfortunately, I think that's what we're gonna have to do. Okay, well I'm gonna get off air here because I think